I never imagined that the decision that once made my father proud would later become the reason my brothers would hate me, blame me, and eventually stop speaking to me altogether. 3 years ago, my life was painfully small. I lived in a quiet, dying town in rural West Virginia, the kind of place where the main street has more closed shops than open ones, where young people leave as soon as they can, and those who stay do so not because they want to, but because they don't know how to leave. I had a computer science degree, student loans, and a job that barely paid the bills. I worked as basic IT support at a local manufacturing plant, fixing printers, resetting passwords, and watching my ambitions slowly rot under fluorescent lights. So when a tech company in Seattle offered me a position with a salary 5 times higher than what I earned back home, I didn't hesitate, didn't overthink it, and didn't ask for permission from anyone. For the first time in my life, my future felt real. My father, Robert Miller, drove me to the airport himself. He was 58 years old then, exhausted from decades of factory work, his body permanently bent by long shifts and heavy labor, but his eyes were filled with a pride I had rarely seen before. "Go, Emily," he said, pulling me into a tight hug as if he wanted to transfer all his strength into me. "You're smarter than all of us. You weren't meant to stay here and suffer. Go build the life you deserve." My mother had passed away years earlier, leaving behind a silence that never fully healed, so it was just my father and my 2 younger brothers, Jason, 24, and Luke, 22. Both of them worked at the same plant as my dad. They earned modest wages, complained constantly, but never actually tried to change anything. Jason laughed as I stood at the security gate with my suitcase. "So that's it," he joked. "Our little sister becomes a big city career woman. Just don't forget where you came from." "I won't," I promised. "I'll call. I'll visit. I'm not disappearing." And in the beginning, I didn't. I called every week, sometimes more. I told them about my new apartment, my demanding job, the excitement of finally being challenged, the fear of not being good enough. My father listened closely, asked questions, and always ended the calls the same way, by telling me how proud he was. But slowly, without any dramatic moment or conscious decision, my life in Seattle began to swallow me whole. Deadlines turned into promotions. Promotions turned into responsibilities. Responsibilities turned into exhaustion. Calls became shorter. Visits became rare. The last time I went home was 1.5 years ago, for Christmas. And even then, I was already half gone. Then the factory shut down. No warning, no safety net. One day it simply closed its doors, leaving half the town unemployed and terrified. Another corporate decision made by people who would never see the faces of those they destroyed. My father called me in March. His voice sounded tired, fragile, and unfamiliar. "Emily," he said quietly. The plant is gone. We're all out of work. My chest tightened. I had always known this would happen. What are you going to do? I asked. I don't know, he admitted. At my age, nobody wants me. But maybe you could help the boys move to Seattle. They're young. They could start over. I thought about it seriously. I had my own apartment. I had savings. I had connections. It wouldn't be easy, but it was possible. Dad, I said, tell them I'll help. I'll do whatever I can. But my brothers refused. Jason called me that same evening, his voice sharp with resentment. So now you think you can save us? He snapped. You think we'd just abandon Dad? I'm not saying abandon him, I replied. There are more opportunities here. You could earn real money and support him properly. Support him from across the country? Luke interrupted angrily. Easy for you to say. You already ran away. We're not like you. We don't leave our family behind. Those words hit me harder than anything else they could have said. I didn't run away, I said quietly. I worked for this. Yeah, Jason scoffed. And while you were chasing your career, who was taking Dad to the hospital when his blood pressure spiked? Who was there when he couldn't even walk properly? Us, not you. I didn't know he was that sick, I whispered. Because you don't really ask, Jason shot back. You call once a month. Here, I'm fine, and then talk about your life. We fought that night like strangers. They accused me of abandoning the family, of choosing money over blood, of pretending to care while living comfortably thousands of miles away. No matter how much I tried to explain that I wanted to help, they refused to listen. We're staying, Luke said firmly. We won't leave Dad. We're not like you. After that, our communication almost stopped. I still called my father. He told me the boys were taking odd jobs, construction, warehouse work, short-term gigs in nearby towns. Money was tight, but they were managing. Whenever I offered financial help, my father refused. We'll figure it out, he said gently. You've done enough. Life moved on, cruelly and quickly. I was promoted again. I bought a car. I started dating a coworker. Work consumed me. Days blurred into weeks. Weeks into months. Calls home became rare. Then, last month, Jason called me. His voice was hollow. Emily, he said. Dad died. The world collapsed. What do you mean, died? I whispered. What happened? Heart attack, he said. The neighbor found him in the morning. They think it happened during the night. I flew home the same day. At the funeral, my brothers barely looked at me. The entire town came to say goodbye. My father had been a good man, dependable, generous, quietly kind. After the burial, we sat in the old kitchen, surrounded by memories and silence. Why was he alone? I finally asked. Where were you? The brothers exchanged glances. We were working, Jason muttered. We found jobs in another city, rotational shifts, a month away, a week home. You left him alone for a month? I said in disbelief. You could have told me. I would have helped. What choice did we have? Luke exploded. We had to earn money. He said he could manage. I stared at them, stunned. The same brothers who accused me of abandoning our father had left him alone for months at a time. The next day, the lawyer arrived. My father had changed his will 6 months earlier. He left the house to me. My brothers were furious. How could he give it to you? Jason shouted. You weren't even here. The lawyer read my father's letter. He knew everything. He knew the boys had lied. He knew they stayed not out of loyalty, but out of comfort. He knew he was alone. He waited for you, I said softly, and you didn't come. They screamed that I stole their inheritance. I didn't argue. Now I'm sitting on a plane, flying back to Seattle, holding the keys to my father's house, the house where I grew up, the house where he died alone, waiting for sons who promised never to abandon him. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I know one thing. I didn't abandon my family. They did, and they lied to themselves about it.
Thank you for being here. Like and subscribe for more.